This is Gemara Shavuos Daf Lamid Vav, and once again, we like to dedicate all the learning as an incredible Schos Aliyas Neshama for Yisrael Meir ben Tzvi Alevi. All the Torah, Talmud Torah, Kenege Kulam should bring the Heilige Neshama of Yisrael Meir ben Tzvi Alevi closer to the Kisei HaKavod B'Siyata Dishmaya. We like all the learning to be an excuse me, an incredible Schos Refuah Shlema as well for Tinok ben Miriam Ahuva. So we're holding on Lamed and Beis, we're middle discussing all the different Shemais Hashem, when they're Kadosh, when they're Chol, different renditions in different books of Torah, Nevi'im, and Ksuvim. So we're about 8 lines from the wide lines of Lamed and Beis. First one line is Kadosh. And the Gemara quotes Psukim in Daniel. Kol Malchaya Amurim Daniel Chol. Anytime the word Malchaya, king, is mentioned, Daniel is Chol, Chutz, Mizeshu, Kadosh. Except for one which is Kadosh, which is what? And Malka Melch Malchaya, Dielo Shemaya, Malchusa, Chisna, Visikpa, Vikar Yahav Lach. Here over here, the Malka Malchaya, the King of Kings, is referring to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'yeshar, and some say Avze Kadosh, some say that no, this also, another one is a Kadosh. Shenamar Maricham L'Sanecha Bashi La'arech. L'man Kamar. To whom is Daniel talking? If someone's Nebuchadnezzar, Sanu say my ninu. What does it mean? The enemies of Nebuchadnezzar? Yisrael me. Let's go La'ilu. It's Yisrael. Now, would Daniel curse Yisrael? So therefore, it must be that Daniel is talking to Kadosh Baruch Hu, davening that everything that was foretold to happen should go on the enemies. So Tanakama Savar Sani Yisrael, Ika Sani Akom Lakov. Tanakama holds, are there only Jewish enemies? No. Nebuchadnezzar's other enemies, the Goyim in particular. And 2 lines from the white lines continues the Gemara B'chol Kinuyim Arelu Chayavim. If an Ein makes a Shvuah by any of the Kinuyim, they are as well Chayiv, even if he didn't make it with a straight up Shem Hashem. V'reminu, ask the Gemara, quoting a pasuk, the number was Chalilo Lishvuah. May Hashem make you an Allah, a curse, and then as an oath. Matam lover. V'aloi kvar ne'amar, v'shvi ha'koynes ha'isha, b'shvuah sa'Allah. Lefi she'ne'amar, says the Gemara, you know what's teaching us? V'shamu kol Allah, he hears the voice of the Allah, ne'amar kan Allah, v'ne'amar Allah, no Allah, on the first white line. Malalan shvuah avkan, shvuah, malalan b'shem avkan. B'sheitz, they're both talking about b'shem. So what do we see? We see that you're not chayiv unless it was a shvuah b'shem. But we just said it's not. Even some other the kinuyim of HaKadosh Baruch Hu would suffice to create the Shem Hashem, to create the shvuahs sheker, the shvuah b'shem. Amar Abaye lo kasha, Rav Chanina bar Idi or Rabbanan. Titania. Rav Chanina bar Idi oimer, hoyel v'amra teira hashbi aval tishava. Kol aval tekalel ma shava b'shem. Avloisi shava b'shem. Ma kol b'shem. Avloisi kol b'shem. Rabbanan igemir gzir shava nibai shem am yuchad. Iloi gemir gzir shava alad b'shvuah. Minalu. How do you know any form of Shem Hashem nafkalu? Titania Allah. Ein Allah ela lashin shvuah v'chein oimer she'akoynes hashvuah b'shvuah sa'Allah hasa shvuah sa'Allah ksiv hachi kamer Allah ein Allah ela b'shvuah v'chein oimer she'akoynes isha b'shvuah sa'Allah. And we turn over to Lamed Vav and Aleph. It says the Gemara minayin, and where do we know lasais shvuah she'eini ma'Allah together with kishvuah she'ishi ma'Allah. Tamid Laimar, Vishama Kol Allah, Vishama Allah, Vishama Kol. From here we're going to learn that it's only going to be together with the Allah. We continue, Lamed Vav Amid Aleph, 4 lines from the top. Omar Rebbe Avua teaches Rav Avua, Menayin Allah Shishvua. How do we know that an Allah, that a curse is as well as Shvua? Shenamar V'yavu Oisai Ba'Allah. Says the Pasuk Nebuchadnezzar brought him Sitkyo under an Allah. Uksev, and what is this Allah? Taken oath by Hashem. So first described as an Allah, then it's described as a Shvuah. So what do we see? We see that it clearly refers to a proper Shvuah. Tana, we learned in a brisa, arur, by nidoi, by klala, by shvua. All of these are referring to Shavuos. Says the Gemara by nidoi. Where do we know it's referring to that I needed ichsev aru maruz? Amar malashem arur yishvev amar ula barba meshiburi shamte barak. Says the Gemara that with 400, excuse me, I lost the place. 400 shafers, Barak, but Myra's into Shamta. So we see that it refers to, Shamta, it refers to putting him in excommunication. Boy klala. Boy refers to a klala. D'chsev Allah amdu ala klala. Uksev ara isha sheyasa pesel. Boy shvua. D'chsev isha Yeshua beisahi lema ara ish fnei Hashem. V'dam otarti avaluhu. But ask the Gemara, how do you know? Maybe Yeshua did two things. Ashvianu v'latinu. He put her under a shvua and he cursed them. So you can't prove from here that it means a shvua. Ela mehacha says, well, you're right. Vishi so nagish ahuva yoel shaul as am neimar aror ish asher yoichal uksev yinasan l'shem v'ashvia aviv esam. And again, all these psukim really require an improper, in-depth view. But for the moment, we continue. He says the Gemara tarti avalahu ashvianu v'latinu. Maybe this refers to the fact he made a shvua and he cursed him. Says Gemara mikisiv v'arur. Does it say v'arur? No, which would mean in addition to the shvua, it's an ar. So we see it's all one thing. Hashdas la'achias and I'm like v'arur. Amar Rabbi Chanina, amen. Rabbi Chanina comes along and he says, Amen means boy shvua, boy kabbalah svarim, boy hamonas dvarim. The word amen affirms and comes along to give a stamp, a seal of approval to all that which came before of it. Hamonas, boy hamonas dvarim. Boy shvua, d'chsev, amar isha amen amen. Boy kabbalah svarim, d'chsev, arisha layakim es divrei haTorah azois. Lastly, so yisam, b'amar kalam amen, boy hamonas dvarim, d'chsev yamira navi. Amen, kaz Hashem yakim Hashem es davarcha. Oh, my Rebbe Lazar, lav. The word lav is what? A shvua. On to the fourth white line, hein is a shvua. Bishlam lav shvua d'chsev v'le'oid mayim lemabel. Uksev ki mein noyach azois liyash nishbati. Elehein shvua min alam. Where do we know the word hein refers to a shvua? Says Gemara svaru. The lav is the shvua. If it knows the shvua, inami is a shvua. Amar Rava comes like Rava, and Rava says, "Who the Amar lav lav treizimni? Who the Amar hein hein treizimni?" You have to say it 2 times. T'chsev v'lo yizach yikares kol basar oin mimei abavav v'lo yiyeh oin amayim lemabel umedelav trei zimni hey nami trei zimni. And now we go back to the Mishnah. After going through a lengthy list of all the different forms of the Shem Hashem, etc., about 10 lines, or 8 lines I should say, into the wide lines of Lam Vavam and Aleph, quotes the Mishnah. Hamekalel bekulan chayiv divir hameir v'chachamim poitrim. Someone curses by any of these, he's chayiv, but according to Chachamim, you are potter unless you use the actual Yod Kei Vav Kei. Taner Rabbanan Yitzchak ki kalel loikav v'nasach atoi matam lover like for Nemar v'nakim Shem Hashem ma'is yumas. So what's the extra passage? Yochol yechayiv al Hashem amiyuchad belvad. Minay in the rabbi says like he knew him, like the Tanakama taught us. Tamalemer ishish ki kalel kavikomer. Mikol makaim divi Rabbi Meir. V'chachamim aimrim Hashem yuchad b'misa val kinuyim be'asar. Say the chachamim, no, they're both aveiros but different levels. On the Shem Yuchad, one is chayim misa. On the kinuyim, it's going to be a azhara, it's an issa daraisa, but it won't be a chiyev misa. We quote the next case in the Mishnah. Hamekalel aviv v'imai. If someone curses a parent, says the Gemara, and again the same machlokes. Man chacham ur lacham has to be with Yud Kei Vav Kei or Menachem Rav Yisrael and Rav Yisrael Yomer. Benakvu shem yumas matam lemer shem limad al makal aviv v'imai sheino chayev ad sheyekalel b'shem. You only give me chayev if you're makal b'shem. Makal atzmai v'chavi Ram Rav Yani divrei akol atzmai. Says Rav Yanai divrei akol, and this is everyone the Chachamim Rameir. Here there's no machlokes. Atzmai. one is not allowed to curse himself. Raki shamar lecha ushmar nafshecha me'oid kidavin. Kiderav Avin Amar Avaloi to Amar Kol Markish Nemer Yishamar Ben Val Ein Ayaloi Sasei Teniser Dea Vechaveroi. And where do we see the ones not allowed to curse a friend? Tachsev Loi Sikalel Chei Rish. So two different psukim teaching us the Isser Daraisa to curse oneself and to curse someone else. We continue quoting the Mishnah, Yachashem Lekecha V'Necha Lekim Zui Allah HaKasav B'Teira. This is a curse written in the Torah. Yosef Rav Kana Gamid Rav Yehuda. V'Yosef V'Kamar Hamas Nisan. And they were saying over this Mishnah, Kidetzinan, Amar Lev, you just said to him, Kane, don't say it straight. That even when you're just learning, you shouldn't say the Shem Hashem, that Hashem will hate you. Always say it in the third person. Yosef Ahu Meir Abanon, 10 lines on the bottom. First one line is Ahu. Kamid Rav Kana of Yosef Kamar Gamal Yitatzchan Etza Yachtecha V'Yisachecha Meir V'Shirash Chamer Chaim Sela Amar Le Kane. Nachmal, don't say it straight, say in a third person. Amar Le Kane Tarti Lamali. Tarti Lamali. Why do we need two of these stories? We see the same thing twice. Mao the Tema says the Gemara. But maybe when it comes to a pasuk, we should not use a kinoi. Kamash Milan, we use a kinoi. Even when we're quoting a pasuk, we don't want to say straight Hashem's name with regarding a kal Allah. If you say that Hashem should not strike if you testify, or He'll bless you if you testify, He'll make it good for you. Machlekes Rameir and the Chachamim. So Rameir seemingly says that saying that the negative is same as the positive. So he says he will not strike you. It's as if he also said that he will strike you. So says the Gemara, and that's obviously a Yisaidistika, fundamental detail. Do we hold in Kol Kula? Do we say that whenever we find the negative, we can infer the positive? Says the Gemara 5 lines from the bottom. Rameir does not hold of such a thing. Rameir does not subscribe to such a yisoid. Says me, you're right. Ipach such Rameir and the Chachamim. Kias Rav Yitzchak Tana. Rav Yitzchak came down and Kitinan. Amar Rav Yosef Ashta Tanan Tanan Achi. Chas Rav Yitzchak Tani Achi. Shmamina Tafka Tanan. Elakasha Kilesle B'Mamoina. So what was the kasha? Excuse me. One more thing. Go back. We learned this way. Yitzchak learned this way. Shmamina Tafka Tanan. Ella Kasha Senate Shver goes back to original thing that what? According to Rameir Mechlavat Shmeahim, but we know he does not hold that. Explains the Gemara. Key Leslie, when does Rameir hold that we do not say Mechlavat Shmeahim? Says the Gemara. Bima Moina will be Surah Islay. I already said the Surah, and yet Amar Avtanachim, Vamar Avtan Bar Chachinai, he knocking saved time to Slavi Naki Lavachim Mechlavat Shmeahim. Lo Yamrinan. We were not saying Mechalavat Tashmei. We see that Rameir says it even not only by Mamanis, by other areas as well. We turn over to Amid Vavam Bezin, says the Gemara Elam Epoch. Rather, we have to switch it around. We have to say that according to Rameir, you're not Chayiv. Afilu be Yisurei Leslie. But Mask if La Ravina be Yisura Leslie. Alamiyata Shtu Yain Piroish to Mamisa. Oh, Chanami, the last of the Rameir, you're going to tell me that according to Rameir, it's not true. Vatanan, Elu Shebe Misa, Shtu Yain Piroish. So it says, you're right. Alolan Tepach, Kilesle B'Mamoino, B'Isura Islay. So I saw you thought that was old Kasha. Shani Sir, the Isur and the Isbe B'Mamoino site is unique. A site is a form of Isur that has Mammon, and that's the reason why that will have its own halacha. Hadron Alach Shavuos Ha'idos. And we dive straight into the 5th parak, Shavuos Hapikadain. And similar to the previous parak, we begin by going through all the cases when a Shavuos Hapikadain applies or does not apply. And the remainder of today's shiur, which is really the remainder of this Amud, is a long and lengthy list of Mishnayos, of the parameters when Shvua either a pikadon applies or not. Says the Mishnah. Shvua is a pikadon eggs by Noshim and Noshim. This should sound familiar. Rather, a few days ago, that Shvua is a pikadon applies. Men and women, relatives and not. Big shame, Rubiv Sulim, Bivnei Bezin, Mishlo Bivnei Bezin. There's only a chiyav when what? You're a kaifer, you deny in bezin. But chachamim ma'imrim, no. Bein mi bi'atzim, bein mi bi'acherim, bein shekafer by chayiv. Chayiv al zadon ashuav al shigasai. Similarly, says the Mishnah, when it comes to a shvua sheker of pikadain, you're chayiv al zadon ashvua. If you knew and you swore falsely anyways, al shigasai im zadon pikadain. And if you did not know about, together with the knowing of the pikadain, bein a chayiv al shigasai gredasa. But if he had a shogig by itself, then he's not chayiv. Ma chayiv al zitoina. Asham bekesef shkalim. And asham worth kesef shkalim in the plural, which is 2 silver shkalim. Says the Gemara, what's a normal case of shuas habikadain? Shuas habikadain, keitzad amar latenli bikadni. Give me my bikadain. Sheyesh li biyadcha. And he responds, shvur shein l'cha biyadi. Or he says, shamar layin l'cha biyadi. Mashbiacha, and he swear to me, Vamar, Amen. That's a classical case of denying a bikadon. And you're going to be chayiv a carbon ashan if he later admits that he swore falsely. Another case. If he tries 5 times to make him swear, whether in front of Bezin or not, v'kafar, and he defends and he denies, chayiv al kol achas v'achas. Amar Rav Shimon matam, neshiach lachzar, ule oidos. Why? Because he could have retracted and admitted each and every time. The fact that he did not, he's never separate chiyuv. But continues the Mishnah, what about a case of chamishim taivim maisai? 5 people are being taiveh, amr lai tanli b'gadin sheish lana b'yadcha. And he responds, shvua shein l'cha b'yadi, eina chayiv ella achas. He's only going to be chayiv 1. Whereas if he says, shvua shein l'cha b'yadi, v'loi lach, he articulates each and every one. Then chayiv akolachas v'achas. No, the only time you're going to be chayiv is if you ended with the word shvua. Shimon Omer shvua l'kolach. No, he has to articulate a separate shvua to each and every person. Tell me pikadon usumas yad gezel v'aveda sheish biyadcha. Continues the Mishnah. If someone says, "Give me a pikadon," a halva, something stolen, something that's lost, that is in your possession. In all these cases, says the Mishnah, Einai chayev ella achas. Shvua she'in l'cha biyadi b'kadin. If he responds, a shvua, I don't have a b'kadin, nusum ziyad v'gezel aveda, he articulates each and every one as we move over to the wide lines towards the bottom of the Amud. Chayev akolach zvachas. Continues the Mishnah, another case. Tanachita is because we should sound familiar. Shvur shein l'chabiyadi in a chayv alachas. Shvur shein l'chabiyadi chita is because min chayv alachas vachas. Rabbi Meir Aimer afilu amar chita usair because min chayv alachas vachas. Once you articulate each and every one of the items, continues the Mishnah with another list of cases. Anasti batisi is biti. Someone says you violated, you raped, or you seduced my daughter. Bo'amar loy natzlo batisi. Mashbiacha ani, and I swear to me, Vamar Amen chayiv Shimon Paiter Shein Mishal Kanas Al Pi Atzmai Amru Loi Af Al Pi. Say the Chachamim Avi Shein Mishal Kanas Al Pi Atzmai Mishal Paiter to become Al Pi Atzmai. He could pay boishes and began by himself. Next case. Ganavti Asher, you stole my shar. Vamar Loi Ganavti. Mashbiacha ani swear Vamar Amen chayiv Ganavti. He says, it's true, I stole it, but I didn't slaughter it, I didn't sell it. Again, a partial admission. Hey, miss, Shari, you sure killed my shar, miss, no. Hey, miss, Sharcha, Abdi killed my Eved, miss, swear to me, Potter. Amar le chavalti bi vasisi bi chabura, you damaged me. Amar le chavalti v'losisi b'chal chabura. Mashviachani v'amar amein chay. Amar le avde afalta shini, your ever knocked out my tooth. Visimati eseni blinded my eye. Amar le balti v'losimasti. Mashviachani, swear to me v'amar amein potter. Zeh haklal. So after the whole laundry list, and the Gemara will of course articulate each case particularly. What is the general rule? In case you're going to pay by yourself, you're going to be potter. There will be no carbon for making the shvua. Pick it up from here. B'siyata dishmaya.